What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys are having a good day so far. In this video here, we're going to be looking ahead a little bit with this Assassin's Creed collab that's just been dropped in terms of all the info. We'll quickly recap the info that's available right now, and then we'll do a bit of speculating on what is to come. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me personally speaking, I've never played any Assassin's Creed games ever. I don't consider myself a really big gamer. I don't hop around games a lot. I never owned a console beyond a Super Nintendo. So that's something you guys should know about me. So I wasn't really big into any of these kind of big titles that we see nowadays. And Assassin's Creed is one of those games that I never really got into. Now, Plarium did announce to us that the brand new free login champion will be Ezio. So I did look up the pronunciation on this champion. So Ezio, I'm going to put him on screen right now. And this is going to be the free login champion that will be awarded through this collab. You guys can check out the video. I'm going to provide it in the link description below. We're going to go over a little bit more about Ezio in that video. But in this video, I wanted to kind of explore Assassin's Creed a little bit more and then give a bit of a general overview on what we can expect from this collab and how we can probably best prepare for what is to come. This isn't our first rodeo in terms of these collabs. These collabs have been coming quite frequently, and they kind of follow a similar kind of formula. So we can all kind of be more and more prepared for what is to come. But first, let's jump into what we want to talk about a little bit more today. And that is kind of the Assassin's Creed lore and what kind of characters we can expect. And of course, with everything nowadays, we try to incorporate AI into making our lives a little bit easier. So I'm going to ask Gemini here this question up here. Raid Shadow Legends and Assassin's Creed collaboration. What is the most likely list of champions or characters with reasons? Also list how most likely to obtain them and provide descriptions and game lore backstory of each. Now this is important to me because, like I said, I've never played Assassin's Creed before, and I'm sure some of you guys watching have probably never played Assassin's Creed. So it's kind of interesting to dive a little bit further into it and, just get more into it. Obviously, Ezio looks pretty cool. A hooded assassin character with blades, retractable blades that come out of his hands. It's a cool idea, right? So I want to kind of get into it a little bit more and explore the other characters in this universe. So as you may or may not know, there is a collaboration that's going to be happening with Assassin's Creed and Raid Shadow Legends, and it's going to start on January 8th. And it's going to run until April 8th. April 8th is actually just going to be the last day that you can get Ezio, which is the free champion. But the entire collab isn't going to totally end until the first week of May. So just a little bit of a detail there. All right, guys, once again, I want to make sure that this is clear that this is 100% speculation. None of this is actually confirmed unless it's already been confirmed in other videos or other news releases. But in this video, this is all speculation. Like I said, I'm asking Gemini AI engine to see what is the most likely situation for each of these characters. So without further ado, I'm going to give you guys a list here and then we can go over it here. So this is the list of most likely champions that will be introduced during this collab. So first of all, Ezio Auditore, it's confirmed. He is the face of the franchise and the only protagonist to anchor 3 main games. He is the central figure. So that Ezio is actually the champion that, is going to be part of the free login champion. So that is actually confirmed. So that is confirmed. He will be part of the collab. Now, the next champion here, Altera Ilben Lahad. Sorry, I'm butchering that. It says confirmed, but there's no official confirmation on this at all. The reason is it's appearing in some promotional material. He is the legendary first protagonist who reforms shape the modern brotherhood. I have no idea what that means, and I have no idea this champion, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into each of these champions' backstories and get some visuals up for you guys in a second here. Next, most likely champion, Bayek of Siwa. Highly likely. Teased in the silhouette as a central figure, he founded the Hidden Ones, the precursor to the Assassins. That's pretty cool. Like, this guy sounds pretty badass. And then afterwards, Cassandra, highly likely. Identified by her distinct silhouette. On some of the teasers, she represents the ancient Izu-connected lineage. Interesting. There was mention of a female character that would be introduced. So here, the AI engine is saying that Cassandra is the most likely female character, which is interesting. And then afterwards, we have Basim ibn Isaac, or Edward Kenway. Teasers show a figure with a distinct red belt. So there's some material with a red belt and is associated with the Mirage, either Bizam or Edward Connor from the American Saga. It would be interesting to add, like a different type of character. Sure, Edward would maybe make sense. I've been seeing his name pop up quite a bit. I have no idea any of these characters are, but here's the list, as generated, as speculated by the AI Gemini. Let's dive a little bit deeper into each of their kind of characters and their visuals. And for that, we will use Google. We got Ezio here, and he is going to be the free login champion, like I said. So he's confirmed to be in the game. They say that he's the main protagonist in a bunch of the games here. And his motive is basically vengeance. His family was killed or executed or something, and yeah, he is basically trained up to be an assassin. It looks like his timeline is during the Italian Renaissance, so he's actually a very old character in terms of general timeline. So you can see here 1459 to 1524. Looks like he died when he was 65 years old. I think if you live up to 65 years old as an assassin, I think you're doing pretty good. So Ezio, welcome to Raid. So after that, we have Altair ibn Lahad. Sorry about that. But he is a Syrian master assassin protagonist from the original Assassin's Creed game, whose name translates from Arabic as the bird son of no one. Symbolizing his connection to the Assassin Order and his mysterious parentage, he became a legendary figure who leads the Brotherhood through the Crusades and beyond, leaving behind a vital codex for future assassins as seen in the series lore. Now, this guy sounds like a pretty, serious figure in this game. Would definitely be interesting to see him come to Raid, hopefully. He is the main playable character in the first Assassin's Creed and appears in others like Revelation. He's a historical figure, important ancestor to the modern day assassin Desmond Miles. Some images for him. Looks like he's wearing mostly white. He looks very similar to Ezio. That's another thing here that I was like a little bit confused about, because all these guys kind of look the same. So they have to add a little bit of Raid flair to them to make sure that they have a little bit of differentiation. But yeah, looks pretty cool. He has mostly a white cloak here, I think. More white than Ezio. But yeah, hopefully he will show up in the game. I mean, based on the synopsis of his character, he sounds like a pretty important character to the game. So hopefully he shows up here, Mr. Altair. So after that, Gemini listed this character as most likely to show up. Bayek of Siwa is the stoic, skilled Medjay protagonist of Assassin's Creed Origins, driven by vengeance for his son's death, who evolves from a protector to the founder of the Hidden Ones, the first assassin brotherhood, alongside his wife Aya, fighting the corrupted order of the ancients in Egypt, known for his deep loyalty, tactical mind, and surprising tenderness towards children and animals. He's a formidable warrior, expert tracker, and leader, wearing traditional Meja garb and his iconic hood, embodying duty and evolving justice. Again, this sounds like a very, very powerful, strong character that could be implemented into the game. Again, Plarium has to probably go an extra mile here just to differentiate them a little bit here. It looks like he's of Egyptian descent, and so he can definitely wear some more historical looking, garments. But yeah, under the hood, he basically looks very similar to the rest. He does carry a shield on his back, and he has visible bows. So perhaps his weaponry is not as advanced, like retractable spikes coming from their hands. But yeah, this guy looks different enough actually that they could definitely do a pretty good job on his character in the game. So looking forward to that for this character, Bayek of Siwa. All right, after that, we have our first female assassin. So there was a female assassin or female character mentioned in some of the promotional material that people are speculating on, and Cassandra was the one that people dubbed more likely to be that character. Cassandra is a Spartan mercenary protagonist of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a fierce warrior and the eagle bearer with enhanced Izu DNA. Oh my goodness. Inheriting King Leonidas's broken spear, allowing her to fight the shadowy cult of Cosmos and unravel mysteries of her bloodline, ultimately becoming an immortal legend after receiving a staff of Hermes. Wow. Wow. So she, what is she? Genetically engineered? Anyways, born in Sparta. Okay, that's pretty cool. She's Spartan, you know, cast out a child trying to save her brother, becoming a mercenary. She has superhuman abilities, making her a formidable fighter, and she communicates with her eagle, Icaros, for scouting. Yeah, she carries a spear, which is pretty cool. In terms of what she looks like, it looks like she's wearing, you know, similar red kind of cloak as the Spartans that we know from pop culture or culture. And there is what she looks like in the game. Yeah, I mean, pretty cool. I like that she uses different types of weaponry, obviously, than the traditional or the spike, the retractable spikes on the arms. That's kind of what I think about when I think about Assassin's Creed, or the character that I think about, the one with the retractable spikes. But yeah, she is using a bow, and she has a small sword and a spear. All right, and the last character that AI has determined would be most likely to show up in this collab is Edward Kenway. Edward Kenway is the charismatic Welsh-born pirate protagonist of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. There you go, guys. We finally get our first like real pirate in the game, I guess. I guess Armand is a little bit of a pirate, but there we go. We got Edward Kenway, initially driven by greed for wealth and glory, who evolves from a roguish privateer into a legendary pirate and eventually a principled assassin. He's known for his adventurous spirit, deadly combat skills, roguish charm, and a journey from self-interest to commitment, proving a popular and complex character. Nice. I mean, you know, based on this synopsis, it sounds like, you know, he would fit pretty well for Raid. And why not include, you know, more of the popular, well-known characters in Raid? Personality, loud, brash, skills, exceptionally skilled pirate and fighter, capable of taking down trained assassins and Templar even before becoming one. Seeks riches, but then he seeks to prove himself. Let's check out some images of Mr. Edward Kenway here. He has a gun. He has a gun. So he has a gun. This kind of differentiates him from the other ones. You know, they all look kind of same with the hood, but he has a gun and he has what looks like a pirate sword. So pretty cool. You know, definitely could be a ranged assassin, and would be interesting to see him in Raid, of course. So looking forward to that. Hopefully some of these characters actually make it into the game. Now, let's go back to the speculated list here by AI. And we can kind of, you know, go through how we can obtain these champions and how we should prepare. So first of all, Ezio is going to be the free champion, so we don't really need to prepare for that. Just make sure you log in for 7 days so you pick up the champion. I do recommend going for his 5-star soul. His kit, you know, will require accuracy if you don't have Veil on him, so definitely pick it up. Obviously, 5-star soul gives you access to Brimstone, so if you're a new player, that's really going to help you out. So make sure you guys finish that 5-star soul as part of his reward program. Now, any of the other champions, I have no idea if any of these will make it into the game, but let's assume, you know, there's going to be 5 champions. You know, for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's 4 turtles, April, and Shredder, so 6 champions. In this case, let's say there's 5 champions. So we have 1 free champion. We'll probably have 1 as a fusion. That's usually how it goes. We'll have 1 as a fusion. And then we'll probably have at least 2 in some form of guarantee event. So whether it be a Deck of Fate event, it could be a shard related event, so summon X shards, or a Hero's Path event that requires shards plus energy, similar to how Leonardo was. So saving shards, that's really important if you want to obtain, you know, obviously that champion. The other way it could be, you know, given to us is through a Deck of Fate, which could require shards. It could require soul stones. If you guys remember, Raphael required soul stones, you know, which was very difficult, very difficult if you weren't ready for it. And then Leonardo was provided through shards. Now, the other thing that could happen is a dedicated multi-week event, like a Titan event. So we did have April, if you guys remember, was offered as a Titan reward at the end of, you know, a couple weeks. I think it was 3 weeks or something, or two and a half. I think it was 3 weeks. So we did have April there as well. So it could be, like I said, Hero's Path, Shard related events, Deck of Fate, Soulstone related events, Titan event, which is just multi events, Fusion, again, multi events, and then it's free login champions. So it's very difficult to obviously try to obtain all of these when you're starting out brand new. I'll say that right now, guys. If you're brand new, it's going to be very difficult. You need to target certain ones that you really want. Obviously, try to conserve your resources. There's going to be events where they're going to try to get you guys to spend resources for a chance at the champion. You don't want a chance at the champion. You want the champion by completing certain things. Okay, guys? You don't want to spend shards with a chance to get the champion. You want to spend shards and then get the champion guaranteed. So we have to wait for these kind of events to show up, wait for some kind of news. The only way to, prepare yourself is either have a lot of money ready to buy things, or you just have to save all your resources, especially the key ones like shards, soul stones, and energy. Those are the big ones, right? You also need, perhaps training, things to train things up so that you can get training points. As we recently just had with like Hilvy's 5-star soul. It was shard and training as a requirement. If you had a lot of training material, you guys got the soul relatively easily and cheaply. So these are just general things I'm spitting out at you guys just to set your expectations straight. Like I said, I have no idea what is going to happen, but just based on what has happened in the past, we can expect 4, 5 champions, and then we can expect something like these events. Saving up key resources would be very, very helpful and, give you guys an advantage when you guys are participating in these events to try to get these champions. For me personally, I've always been very conservative with my shard spending, especially the sacred shards. So I just conserve all my big shards for these type of events, these guaranteed events. It's easier said for late game, end game players that don't require more champions to basically go through the game. Obviously, you just use the shards as currency towards these special events. And as a late game, end game player, you just acquire resources and do things much more efficiently than a brand new player. For a brand new player, it's going to be very difficult. You can't expect to get all of these unless you're a big spender. And I'll make sure to cover everything on these as soon as they show up, if they show up in the game. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel for all of that. Anyways, guys, just a quick video here, with a little bit of Assassin's Creed backstory, back lore, as well as just general predictions on what is to come. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think is going to happen with Assassin's Creed. Do you guys play Assassin's Creed before? How familiar are you guys with this universe? Because like I said, I have absolutely no idea. But I love the aesthetics. The gameplay looks really cool, and it's a big cultural thing that even I that never played the game before can recognize the characters in the game, and of course some attributes like the retractable blades on their hands and their cloaks. So for me, it feels super fresh, and it's very interesting to actually dive into it and learn a little bit more about these characters. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments below. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Like I said, we'll be covering all of this as soon as we know and as soon as we're allowed to say stuff to you guys. Much love. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. Appreciate you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.